I'm being discriminated and filtered on YouTube, and I'm not the only one. And if you go and check my videos, you see that my new videos hardly get views.
When fame, fortune, and endless stardom potential are within reach with just a few clicks of a button, YouTube and content creation is a goal for many. Being able to reach and interact with others across the globe with similar interests to you, and being able to monetize that interest is the reason why so many have opted against traditional jobs, with the hopes of becoming a successful YouTuber. But with the industry so saturated, the pressures and demands to curate and make a living off content produced can be too much for some people, with only a select few really making it. In today's case, what happens when everything you've worked for is seemingly stripped away?
My name is Nasim Sabs.
Born on April 5, 1979 to parents Ismail Ogdam and Nasim Ogdam grew up in Urmia, Iran alongside her brother Sharon. The four of them lived together in a modest-sized family home. Although not much is known about her early years, Nasim had a happy upbringing and showed a strong awareness even as a child. At the age of 7, she independently decided to become a vegetarian and stopped eating meat, following in her parents' footsteps as a registered member of the Baha'i faith. In 1996, Nasim's father found a business opportunity in the United States, and after some convincing, the family decided to immigrate and seek a new life. Life in Iran, where they previously lived, was not without difficulties, particularly due to the persecution faced by the small Baha'i community. Moving to the US provided them with a chance to find refuge and safety. Thus, in 1996, they settled in San Diego, marking the beginning of a new chapter. The transition to American life was challenging, especially for Nasim, who was 16 years old at the time. Adapting to a different culture and way of life was confusing for her, as it meant adjusting to a new normal that she struggled to fully comprehend. Nasim had difficulty assimilating into American culture and continued to identify as Persian online. She primarily spoke in her native language, Farsi, and while she attended school, she didn't make many friends. As a result, she sought social interaction and entertainment through the internet, further isolating herself from the physical world around her. Throughout her late teens and into adulthood, Nasim did not find romantic love. However, she did have compassion, particularly for animals. In 2007, she adopted a baby rabbit, which became her best friend. Nasim's commitment to animal welfare grew stronger, and by 2009, she became a vegan. She actively participated in demonstrations organized by people for the ethical treatment of animals and expressed her belief that animal rights were equivalent to human rights. In 2011, Nasim began uploading videos to YouTube under the username NasimWonder1. Being trilingual, Nasim would go on to create and post content in 3 different languages: English, Turkish, and Farsi. She gained a respectable following, particularly in the Persian and Turkish communities, becoming known for her advocacy of animal rights and healthy living.
بند و هرچی اینا رنگشون تیره‌تر باشه، ضخامتشون بیشتره. و این حرکات رو اونقدر انجام میدید تا خسته بشید.
From veganism to extreme beliefs on animal welfare to music parodies, Nasim teetered on the edge of being a content creator to simply becoming a meme.
Nice to meet you, can I kiss you? I could show you hidden things, pain, sadness, hate, crime, your food, oh my brain, look at that meat, it looks like your next heart attack. Life's a game, wanna play.
Nasim's Farsi YouTube channel gained over 11,000 subscribers, and she became part of the YouTube Partner program, allowing her to monetize her videos and make a comfortable living despite living at home. Across all her YouTube channels, she had a combined subscriber count of 20,000, and her Instagram followers exceeded 50,000. Nasim proudly proclaimed herself as the most prominent Persian animal rights activist online, and her substantial audience and YouTube earnings supported that claim. Although her content at times was graphic, unsettling, and eccentric, such as demonstrating a proper breast massage using bra inserts, it resonated with viewers. However, this success would not last. Prior to 2016, YouTube only moderated a small portion of the content that creators published. Following YouTube's announcement of a move towards family-friendly material, the number of views for contentious videos has decreased. Nasim, like many other people, suffered a serious financial blow. She took it personally when YouTube flagged many of her films as obscene and removed their monetization. Even while some of her footage was humorous, a significant amount of it contained brutal and severe animal mistreatment, frequently with provocative names that went against YouTube's new rules. Nasim decided to protest instead of adjusting because she felt targeted by the YouTube system. She claimed that the platform was biased and used content filtering, and that YouTube was working with Google to suppress her website. Nasim said in a video that YouTube was purposefully stifling her and censoring her beliefs.
When it comes to freedom of speech, do you think that Iran is better than USA or USA is better than Iran?
In February 2017, Nasim made a trip to the YouTube headquarters in Silicon Valley to stage a protest against what she perceived as the platform's attack on her channel. Holding up a sign that read, "YouTube dictatorship, hidden policy promotes stupidity, discrimination, and suppression of the truth."
People like me are not good for big businesses.
Despite the lack of response, Nasim felt personally targeted and discriminated against every time she uploaded a video.
I'm being discriminated and filtered on YouTube, and I'm not the only one. And if you go and check my videos, you see that my new videos hardly get views.
Her content faced strikes, and entire channels were demonetized.
So recently, they also attacked my Persian channel.
On Sunday, March 31st, after 3 days of mounting frustration, Nasim reached her breaking point. Prior to her attack on the YouTube headquarters, she had a heated argument with her father. The details of the fight remain unknown, as the family never discussed it openly. However, considering Nasim's public criticism of her father for his meat-eating choices, it is likely that their dispute revolved around that topic. Nasim openly expressed her disdain for YouTube to her mother, claiming that the company was personally attacking her. She felt overwhelmed, believing that everything in her life conspired against her.
Ismail, was your daughter a terrorist?
No.
Was she violent?
No.
Did you know that she had a gun?
No.
On March 31st, 2018, Nasim left her family home following an argument over her battle with YouTube. Initially assuming she had just left to blow off steam, her family grew concerned when Nasim failed to return home. On April 2nd, 2018, 2 days after she was last seen by her family, her father Ismail reported his daughter missing. Ismail told officers that despite being a grown woman, his daughter's disappearance was completely out of the ordinary. He confessed to detectives that he believed that she was a danger to herself and others, and warned them that she might attempt to reach YouTube's headquarters to stage yet another protest against the platform.
She had a problem with YouTube, so we called that cop again and told him that there's a reason she went all the way from San Diego to that, so she might do something. I mean, I didn't know she has a gun. And then I thought maybe she's gonna go and start the fight or something.
The next day, April 3rd, Nasim was seen at a local gun range in San Bruno, California, hours away from her home.
Police have not identified the gun range, but law enforcement officers were seen entering the Jackson Arms range in South San Francisco this morning. A witness there reported seeing someone they thought was Ogdom yesterday before the shooting.
She was at the gun range early the morning of the incident.
Later that day, in the early hours of the morning, authorities found Nasim sleeping in her car in a local Walmart parking lot in Mountain View, California.
10-4. There is a female sleeping in the back seat of the vehicle right now.
Police were called to the parking lot frequently to run plates of seemingly abandoned cars due to high levels of drug dealings in the area. When her plates were run, officers immediately flagged the car, and its owner had been reported missing and was high risk.
A missing person is a missing adult at risk named Nasim Ogdom. The Middle Eastern female, 5'5", 110, black over black, born in 79. She usually lives with her grandmother. Last seen around noon on the 31st of March. Hasn't been heard from.
Going over to take a look, officers discovered Nasim sleeping in the back of the vehicle.
10-4. There is a female sleeping in the back seat of the vehicle right now.
The officers at the scene then requested more information as to why she had been deemed at risk.
I'm sorry, I missed the reason why she's at risk.
Me too, I'm trying to look for it. Stand by. B36, the category shows at risk, but there's no explanation for that. We're contacting San Diego right now to make sure she's still considered outstanding.
With no clear reason as to why Nasim had been highlighted as at risk, officers went back to the vehicle to question the 39-year-old.
Hey, police. Hi, are you Nasim? Hey, so you were reported as missing. Yeah, as missing from San Diego?
Yeah, I left my family.
Okay.
Nasim told officers that she had not been getting along with her father and decided to move.
Can I just ask, if you don't mind, why you left?
We don't get along together, so I left.
Okay. Do you have ID on you by chance?
The content creator told officers that she had cut contact with her family, leaving her phone at the San Diego home so that she was unreachable.
My main phone that I used to get calls with them, I left it there. I didn't leave.
Satisfied with Nasim's answers, officers told Nasim their next steps and left the 39-year-old in the Mountain View car park.
Is there anything you want us to tell your parents?
No,
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There was nothing by her body language, her conversation, her demeanor, or the information that we received from the family that suggested that we should handle this in any other manner in which the officers handled it.
Under the cover of darkness, Nasim made her way to San Bruno, a 30-mile journey from Mountain View, preparing for the unthinkable act she had planned for the following morning. She parked her vehicle in a nearby parking structure, strategically positioned across the street from the YouTube headquarters. With determination in her steps, she entered the campus, eventually finding an open-door patio where numerous employees were peacefully enjoying their lunch.
Police now tell us that Ogden made her way into this garage. Apparently that gate was open. Now, once inside, she was able to make her way inside the actual YouTube campus. And right over there, just beyond that wall with the vines, is that patio where the shooting actually happened.
In a chilling moment, Nasim retrieved the Smith & Wesson semi-automatic pistol that she had purchased just months prior.
It was one after another, boom, 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 boom.
Without a specific target in mind, she began firing indiscriminately, fueled by a desire to cause as much harm as possible.
Well, there's absolutely no link or relationship that we've identified between our suspect and anybody who was at the scene at the time of the incident.
At 1:04 p.m., an incident is reported at the headquarters, with 911 being called just 6 seconds later.
It's really an unbelievable response time. I mean, 2 minutes from the word going out, possible shooter, to they're actually on the grounds, which means they had a patrol officer within 2 blocks or a block of the campus.
Upon arrival, officers encountered numerous employees fleeing from the building. It was very chaotic, as you can imagine.
Her first victims, 2 women aged 32 and 27, were caught off guard while eating on the patio.
We looked out the window, we see the whole building, people running down the stairs. We were sitting by one of the side doors, so we opened the door and told people to get in the building.
We just kind of acted out of instinct and tried to do what we can to help, just kind of stop the bleeding.
She got shot in the calf, and they took her into Carl's Jr., where they put her on the table. I got a bungee cord, I tied it above her leg to stop the bleeding.
As chaos ensued, a 36-year-old man attempted to escape but fell victim to Nasim's gunfire.
I saw there were still a couple of people crouched behind tables, so I went to go look to see if they were still outside, and then that's when I saw someone in front of the doors lying on the ground.
Fortunately, she failed to hit anyone else. The sudden eruption of violence sent shockwaves through the YouTube campus. Workers, initially unaware of the unfolding tragedy, described the scene as panic engulfing the surroundings.
She was doing this. That's what she was doing. And I ran to the window because the window behind me looks over the patio, and I saw her. And it was a woman, and she was firing her gun. And I just said, shoot her, and everybody started running.
One employee tweeted about being in a meeting, suddenly hearing the thunderous sound of people running.
Well, I actually was on a video conference with someone who was in the building when it happened, and we were all suddenly aware of a lot of sort of noises of sounds, people running outside of the room where she was, and people screaming. And the person who was in the room on the video conference in the building suddenly, became very alarmed and was listening to the sounds, and suddenly became, very scared and said, "I have to get out of here."
Others recounted barricading themselves in their offices, sending farewell messages to loved ones in case the worst were to occur.
This is crazy. We're on lockdown.
Realizing the limited impact she had achieved with only 3 victims and witnessing the swift response of law enforcement, Nasim came to a grim realization. The area had been swiftly evacuated, and the sound of approaching sirens grew louder. It became clear that her plan had been thwarted.
The fact that the shooter
really did not spend a lot of time in the incident. Could indicate she thought through the beginning and the middle, but not how it would end.
In a final desperate act, at 1:37 p.m., she turned the gun on herself, shooting at a 15-degree downward angle right through the heart.
Just confirming one shooter still outstanding.
One of the witnesses about 17. They identified a female in a white shirt.
Police initially held back information confirming that Nassim had died, confirming to the press that 5 people had been transported to the hospital.
San Bruno police say the woman who died is believed to be the shooter. Right now, 2 other women and 1 man are being treated at the hospital.
Media outlets fled to the scene and began reporting on a lone female shooter attacking the headquarters.
Gunfire and terror at YouTube headquarters in California. New information still is coming in, but we now know the shooter was a woman. Police say she's dead, and multiple people are wounded. The suspect's motive still unclear.
Soon enough, information began to leak out, and it was confirmed that the 39-year-old had ended her own life. Thankfully, while the 2 victims who arrived at Zuckerberg Hospital in San Francisco were initially in critical condition, they ultimately made a complete recovery. However, the tragic event had far-reaching effects, leaving a profound impact on thousands of individuals.
Your support reminds us that even in the toughest of times, the YouTube community comes together and supports one another.
Nassim's family would later speak out, telling the media that there had been warning signs for months and telling the press that they had warned police of Nassim's mental state and likeliness to turn up at the headquarters.
So for 1 year she was angry at YouTube and police said they would watch her in Mountain View.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Nassim's actions were undoubtedly influenced by untreated mental illness, as she harbored unfounded beliefs that YouTube and Google were conspiring against her. Her deep-rooted convictions, including her passionate activism for animal rights, led her to perceive a relentless conspiracy against her, making it nearly impossible to reason with her troubled mind.